What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm NB.
And we are rounding up American Horror Story 1984. And this is episode 3. And it's called...
It is called Slashdance.
Oh, yeah. So they're doing all these different takes on, I guess, 80s movies and like making them scary times.
Is that what's happening? Because I don't really know what's happening. So
I don't know what's happening. Okay, so before we get into our roundups, which is what we do, give me your overall feelings of this episode.
Overall, I'm going to have to say, I think it's the weakest thus far. I didn't enjoy it at all. I was counting down the minutes till it was done. I did like the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I like the way it ended. I just didn't enjoy the episode. I felt like the backstories were a little meh. Even though I like the backstory premise, the way it kind of unfolded, I was like, this is it. Like, this is his story.
Right.
And whatever. But I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, just to cover it all off, we got two major backstories. One is with Rita / not her real name. Her real name is Dr. Donna Chambers, the nurse.
Yeah.
And we also got Ray's backstory. And yeah, I agree. I think that we were expecting that from this season, considering it's all kind of taking place over one night, from what it looks like so far. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about them just continually going back and if it really matches up, because it is interesting. There's one thing that I noticed from last episode that we didn't get a chance to talk about, where Rita is stuck in the room with Mr. Jingles. Mr. Jingles comes through the front door, sees her, they're facing each other, and then as we know, she is the one that kind of gets them all to crash the car later in the parking lot.
And she gets away unscathed. And I think a lot of people were kind of questioning that and being like, what the F's up with that? Why wouldn't he kill her right then and there?
Right, exactly.
And that kind of all, and I did like her storyline. I'm glad that she's trying to get to the bottom of him, or trying to explore this whole serial killer story. I'm down for that. I don't know. I just feel like something's missing.
Here's the thing. I just feel like it's very flat so far.
Yes.
For an American Horror Story season, there hasn't been something that's really gripped me into the story to be like, oh shit, I really need to know. I mean, I will say that last line that's given by Montana at the very end kind of got me intrigued.
No, and I think this is everything before those last 5 minutes for me, because I did like the way those last few minutes played out. But even I just feel like they're not even Billy Lord. You have Cody Fern. I'm just not seeing the acting that I thought I was gonna see, or this lit performance. I'm not seeing it. You know,
it's a lot of like you said. You're getting flashbacks, which is giving you a little bit of the acting, but then outside of that, it's literally running around in the dark and screaming and crying. And I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I feel so great about how they're positioning everybody right now.
I do feel because there is this mystery behind what the F is going on. Could there be a supernatural element to this? Could this all be a reality show? Could this be a method acting camp? So I'm not, so it makes me feel I shouldn't be so into the story, because I'm watch it be nothing. Watch it not make sense. Watch it be some dumbass reason. So it's almost pulling me out of the episode where I'm okay, I'm not buying into it. And at this point, episode 3, I wish I wish I loved it. I'm not crazy. I'm not excited to watch it,
I agree. I was a little disappointed. As you guys know, with our roundups, we're looking for the best moment, the WTF moment, MVP, LVP, best line. And I struggled the hardest with best moment, because I was what was my favorite part? There wasn't something that I was damn, that was the episode moment. You know what I mean? Yeah, so just to kind of cover off in terms of what happens to each character, Brooke gets drugged by Rita / Donna Chambers, and that's kind of what sets off Donna Chambers' storyline. We find out that Donna Chambers was a psychiatrist, and she was trying to treat Mr. Jingles, and she was the one that kind of orchestrated him getting out of the mental hospital in the first place. So now we're starting to understand why everything was kind of conveniently set up for him. How did he get a knife? How did he get out? Everything is now being answered in that regard. So it's not super far-fetched, but like, to your point, did I need an extra backstory to that? Like, did I care
and like
how
her reasoning
and why
was
he got there?
Her reasoning was so dumb. She's like, I need to put you in the real world so I can see how you're gonna react. Like, what? Like, it's so stupid. You know, like, no one would ever do that.
You also, like, he's gonna go kill people. So like, what are you gonna find out from this story?
Like, how far do you have to push for like science? Like, it's just like, I understood what they're trying to do, and they're AHS. They go over the top. I get it, but like, I just wasn't. I wasn't fully sold on that.
Same. When she tried to explain herself, I was like, are you guys really doing this right now? Like, that's the angle that you guys want to take with this? Okay, cool. I don't know if I was totally sold on it. Keep like moving forward. Ray and Chet fall into a hole, basically, like with spikes in it. Chet gets injured, and Ray is like revealed as the biggest coward of the entire series. Like, he runs away from everything. He's an escapist. He just tries to survive on his own, and he doesn't like to like help anybody else out. Then we see a little bit of his backstory and how he accidentally killed somebody when he was running a frat house with his brothers or whatever, and he accidentally doesn't kill him, and then he throws him off a cliff, and then he actually does die. So he's holding this like guilt over himself. So there's that story, but it doesn't even really matter because he dies in this episode anyways.
Yeah, and it was a very weak flashback. I was actually excited about it when they cut to it, when they like showed the frat house. I was like, ooh, they're gonna do something really crazy and fucked up,
right?
And it was so dumb, like how the guy like wakes up halfway in the middle of the car and he's like, what's going on? And then he still put like, it was just so stupid, and it just felt very weak.
Like very random too. Like, he had like a
random
moment where he's talking to him and he's like, you and me, man, like, I'm black, you're Asian, like, we gotta like stick up for each other. I'm like, what? Why are you talking about this? But then it doesn't
go anywhere.
It goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So like they're setting up these scenes, and there really isn't. When you think about Coven, when you think about even Apocalypse, there were these moments that really gripped you, and I'm just not getting it from the show so far. Like, maybe the last 2 episodes, you're like, ooh. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know.
I honestly, I think that's because they started off so fucking crazy that it makes you question every single thing that happens after. If they had started as like a real slasher, everyone's fucked, but here's everyone's backstory, I'd be like, oh my God, but I want to know. But now I'm just like, I don't know what to commit to because I don't know what's real. I don't know what's like, gonna be a fake thing at the end. And so I'm just like very uneasy with like everything.
Exactly. And I think that was my worry as well. I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, there's not really something that is like making me feel like this is gonna take us all the way to episode 10, right? Like, that's what I said from episode 1. I was like, I don't know if they're giving us too much episode 1, that by the time we get to the end of it, we're not gonna have anything else to go by. And to your point, you said in the first episode, like, it's going to just be all flashbacks, which it was all this episode too. So I don't know.
So what else happens?
Feel about it. What else happens? Trevor and what's his name? Xavier, they both kind of go their own way, and they're like, Trevor has this random thing where he wants to save the people who are in the camp right now, like that old lady and Margaret. And so he's like, I gotta go back and find them, and everybody's like, fuck you, like, we gotta go. So people start to split up. They save Chet from the what's spikes. It called, the pit, because Ray like disappeared on them, and they also throw like an imposter Mr. Jingles into the pit because they thought it was him, and then they realize after that, like, he had a mask on, and then he kills him. So yeah, there was that random element in it too that was kind of weird. Anyway, like, that's pretty much what happens in the episode. We do find out, like I said, at the very end, Montana is making out with the Night Stalker, and she was like, why haven't you killed her yet? And then, like, that's how the episode ends.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most gripping part of the whole episode. But then it's over, and then I'm like, okay, great. Now I gotta watch episode 4 and see what happens next. Let's get into our recap roundups.
Best moment. My best moment, I think it's gonna go to Ray's head getting sliced off, because the coward always dies, right? And you sort of wait for him, and you're waiting to see how he's gonna get killed off. And in that last moment, him and Montana are like in the parking lot, and he just dips on the bike and he like fucking zooms away, and I'm like, oh my god, he's definitely gonna die. And Jingles is like right there waiting by like the exit sign, and he just like slices clean his head off. And so
which
he's
was
dead.
kind of a cool shot.
It was really cool. It was entertaining. It was very, very like this. The kills in this episode were very slasher-esque, which I liked. But yeah, best moment, I think probably that.
My best moment's gonna go to the real Rita storyline that we got to see.
Why? I wanted to ask you why.
So I think it was just because, number one, I need sun.
It's true. It was daytime. Oh my god, I just realized that.
It was daytime when you got to see it, and like it was a fresh new character. Like it's really bad, but after 2 episodes, I'm already tired of those two characters. All those characters. That having her in there, I was like, okay, and she kind of sounded cool, and you get to understand like where she came from, like what happens to her. Does she die? She does die this episode, but like.
I wish they did more with her, because they did have that really cool scene in the beginning where she was like, girls gotta stick together. And like she was talking to like fake Rita. I wish it kind of led to more, but it doesn't. And
I mean, I understood why. Like we all knew it was going to get to that point. Like the fake Rita is like obviously crazy.
But like at least she could have saved someone, or like she could have done something a little bit more. She was just literally like, hey, I'm back. I'm still here though. And I'm going to die now. It was just like,
that's true. Did you know that she was from Gossip Girl? She was like one of the girls.
No way. Which girls?
She looked familiar? No. She was like one of like Blair's girls. Anyway, shout out to Gossip Girl. We're just making a reboot soon. Anyway, yeah. So that was my favorite part, only because like mostly because it was like sunny. Like I just wanted a different scenery. Change of scenery.
WTF moment. WTF moment, I think, has to go to seeing all like the fake Mr. Jingles, and I was like, like why? So is it Halloween? Like what's going on? It would have been cool if like they did that for the Halloween episode, but I just didn't understand. I mean, I guess like it's the same thing as like Michael Myers, or like, you know, like people do dress up as him.
Sure.
But like they're actually going to kill people.
But my thing was at that point in time, they already knew people were dying at the camp, so it didn't really matter that there were imposters there at that point.
think this show just put like, it almost felt like more of like the writers adding it in to get away with some things and blame it on the imposters. You know what I mean?
What, like the bag of shit? Like beyond that, there was nothing else.
But maybe we'll see more of them like later on, no?
I mean, I hope that they don't just keep killing random people who are dressed up as Mr. Jingles, and like we never see Mr. Jingles die. But I felt like they came in a little too late. Like if they built up the mystery and they were like, oh, like this is what's happening, someone's banging on the door and we're getting a phone call, but like they've already seen a dead body by the showers. So by that point, like Trevor and all the other ones are not going to be like, oh, thank God it was just you guys. Like, there's not a real Mr. Jingles here. I'm like, of course there's still a killer. Like, there wasn't, like, he is actually out there and he's out there to kill you guys. So, like, why set you guys up for, like, doubt if you know for a fact that it's actually happening? Anyway, I just didn't understand why they threw that in there. But you're right. They do something for Halloween every year. Maybe that'll come back around in the later episodes. We'll see. My WTF moment is going to go to, I don't know. I had 3 and I don't know which one to talk about. One of them was Ray's backstory, but we talked about it. So maybe we can go to the ending, since that was like a big,
for sure.
That was a big one. That was like a shocker. Outside of the sentence that we get, what do you predict for,
you know what's funny? Because as she was standing in the parking lot, I definitely expected this to get like sexual. I'm like, watch her make out with this guy, or like watch them fuck right now, just because she exudes such a like sexual like character, and like she's she seems like a rock star, and like I wasn't surprised that like she made out with him, but I was shocked that like she knew him and obviously like has asked him to kill Brooke, probably, right? So that part got me for sure.
I don't know what to expect from that whole situation. You're assuming that she is talking about Brooke, though, right?
Yeah, like, that's what I'm assuming. Just because, like, the way she's been so close to her and, like, she's been asking her questions, it makes sense. But it's AHS. Watch them pull, like, a fucking rabbit out of the hat and, like, it's Margaret or something. MVP. MVP, I think, is going to go to fake Nurse Rita, aka Donna Chambers. And I think I just liked her scene with Mr. Jingles. I think I liked how like she came into it. She's like, I got my PhD and like I want to learn more about like serial killers, and like I went and talked to like Ted Bundy. I just like the way she's going with it and how she's like, you might have PTSD. And then he was like, no, he's like, it's the corn syrup and everything. Like I like that. I like where they're going with it, and like kind of seeing what makes someone tick and like what sets you off in that way. And I hope they explore that more. I just don't think they are. But for that, she's my MVP.
It does seem that, Ryan Murphy tries to do that with a lot of his shows, where he tries to like peel back the extra layer to be like, what was wrong with this person? What really made them set off? And, I think he's definitely doing it again for this season with Mr. Jingles. And yeah, Rita is the only person. The one thing that kind of got me was, you're telling me that this white psychologist couldn't figure it out for the 18 fucking years or whatever that Mr. Jingles was in the mental institute, and then Rita walks in like one day, like not even 5 minutes with this guy, and he trusts her and explains all like his whole life story to her.
It's the way she cared about him too, though. Whatever. Like it's the way she like spoke to him, and he even said, he was like, I'm finally being looked at for the first time in my life. Like it was like cheesy, but I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. Like, fine, one ticket.
I'll buy one ticket.
Like, I'm not committing everything, but I'll buy one ticket.
I may or may not leave halfway through the show, but I'm gonna buy a ticket. Yeah, I know what you mean. And you're right. I think that I like the way that they kind of angled her character to be this person that's just on like a nurse that's running around screaming. Like she has an extra mission. I don't know. I think that it's a little extreme for her to
very extreme. Yeah.
Drug all these kids and then put them to sleep and then like get him to kill them all. Like I don't know. That's a little random for me. My MVP is going to be Trevor, and it has nothing to do with his big dick, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's like
because I feel like you're right. I feel like it would be so much more divisive because they've made it such a fact that he's got a big dick. But like he's suddenly like this really like courageous, like not too douchey. Like he's still a little bit douchey, but this episode he was like, we got to save Margaret. We got to save this person. And I was like, where's this all coming from? Like I thought that of all of them, he would be the most selfish, the most self-involved. Like I thought that his character would be a lot more like
for sure. It's
into
surprising.
Himself.
And I like that. I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. I feel like he was going to be more like the Ray, which like what Ray turned out to be, like the coward who runs away from everything. But he ended up being this guy who's like, oh, we got to save everybody in the camp or whatever. But it also draws me back to the whole idea that maybe he's got another story because we haven't seen it yet. And it's funny because you already were right about Rita, because I think it was last episode, you're like, maybe Rita's a ghost.
Yeah, but she's not.
Because of the way that it was angled. But also another character that you mentioned was Trevor. So I'm like, maybe Trevor is also
and he could be, right? Because he's not leaving. He doesn't want to leave the camp. And that makes me suspicious a little bit. Like, just dip or like get everyone out first or do something. But he's very like adamant, like, no, we can't leave until everyone's with us.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm very interested to see like what his character's like. But this episode, I think he was an MVP. He was like literally trying to save everybody.
He did. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he did a good job. I mean, he accidentally killed somebody, but like whatever. He's like just trying to survive.
LVP.
My LVP is gonna go to, I think, the real Nurse Rita. Please stand up. Just because I was like, it was such a random addition to the story. Like I guess she was just there to show that like she is the real Nurse Rita, but like she died so quickly. She didn't even help anyone out. Like she could have like helped them with something and then like died. But like it was just like they ran into the room, saw her, he came in, killed her, and that was it. And she had like this crazy like very slasher death. You know, he put the thing into her mouth, the oar, whatever.
Yeah, that was pretty cinematic.
So I was just like, why? Like, why even bring her into it? They could have just done it without hiring like an actress. But like,
I guess she's just like another Scream Queen storyline. You know, like just to watch her die, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's true. Yeah, she was.
Unless she's like part of the flashback or something later on. Who knows?
I mean, I feel like we've seen her flashback. Like she was just a real Nurse Rita.
That's true.
and they do. I mean, they do discover like from her death, they do discover that like there is an imposter on the loose as well. So like she did have a purpose.
Oh, that's true.
Whatever.
Yeah.
My LVP, like I was saying before when I thought I was talking about my LVP, was I feel like Ray is like an easy, like, you know, to go that way with him because he was definitely the LVP of the episode because he was such a piece of shit. But I'm gonna give it to Chet because I also think that. But why?
Because he's so cute.
I don't understand the appeal of Chet.
He's literally
like,
so effing cute, but like he is useless. Like all he did was like cry and like scream.
He cried. I mean, he did fall into a stake, which I get, but like. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm honestly like, this will be the last time, I promise.
I feel like he's going to have a sick storyline. Like, I'm still holding out for Chet's storyline, his flashback.
But not only just that, what I was going to say was like, this is the last time I'm going to say it, but like Gus Kenworthy is just not a good actor.
I didn't mind his acting. I don't know why you're so hard on him. Like, he actually wasn't that bad. He was like, I believe that he had a stake through his chest. Like, I was falling for it.
Okay, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't like. It doesn't. Something about it is like I can see that you're not an actor. Like I can tell.
I don't know. I can't tell. Like if you didn't tell me that he was the Olympian, I wouldn't have thought. Like I thought he would have just an actor. Like I can't tell the difference.
Let us know which one you guys agree with, me or NB. Is he a decent actor or not?
Man.
Am I being? Like he's a cute guy, but that's what I'm saying. Whenever he's on screen, I'm always paying attention to him. So
maybe because
I don't know. I'm trying to watch him. I'm watching him because I'm like he's cute or whatever, but he doesn't seem to like know how to act in front of a camera.
Let's see his flashback moment. Let's give him more airtime before we really judge.
Give him a little bit more airtime. Yeah. That's true, but I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna leave that in the chat and like let me know what you guys think about it. Because I don't want to come for him the entire season. Obviously, I think he's still a handsome guy. Like, it's just not a great actor.
Hot. The best line. My best line is gonna go to Montana at the end when she like starts making out with whatever Ramirez.
Yep, yeah, Ramirez.
And then she's like, "Why haven't you killed her yet?" And I'm like,
just like that.
And then I'm like, "Oh my god!" It was such a good last line to end the episode with.
My best line is gonna go to Trevor when I think they're trying to get out and try to fight off Mr. Jingles, and they're like, "How are we gonna get out of this?" And he's like, "His knife versus my guns." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like. Honestly, guys, it was cute. Slim Pickens this episode for a best line. But as soon as I heard that, my ears perked up and I was like, okay, that was kind of funny. Like, I'll go with it. So that's why I wrote it down. That was the only thing that kind of got me. That is the episode, though, guys. Let us know what you guys thought about this episode. Are they on a, trajectory of being interesting and entertaining? Or do you feel like this is going to be a really shitty, just go with the flow, campy, like season, like very light, like it doesn't feel.
But like it's not even campy in a good way. It's campy in a like I'm not that excited for this,
Yeah,
and it's like dark and I can barely see things and there's shadows everywhere and it's just like it's the music's not as lit as I thought it was gonna be.
You're right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought that they were gonna like let the kids get to the camp so then we can watch them all die, and the fact that they didn't do that, I'm just like. Okay, we're stuck in this darkness for the entire season.
I'm really not down for that darkness. Like, I'm not down for everything to be in, like, at night. It's just, I don't know. Like, I'm missing something.
Why would you want to watch it like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, let us know what you guys think about the episode. We have a few announcements. Well, the first one is we have a contest running right now, and we're opening it up to our AHS listeners as well as our Riverdale, like anything recap rewind, basically. All you need to do is... not really subscribe if you want to, but you need to leave us a comment on iTunes and rate us, and you'll be entered into a contest that we're gonna draw from in December, and it's for a pop socket and a $50 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, and all you have to do is go to the podcast iTunes app on your phone or your desktop. You could just type in Recap Rewind and our AHS one will come up. And then in there, you can leave us a review. It's free to leave reviews. You don't have to subscribe. It's just leaving a nice 5-star review. That's it.
Yeah.
And then you might get a chance.
Your name will just be put into
win.
It'll be put into a draw, and then we'll draw it, and then you'll get something fun. And you're helping us out at the same time. Like, It's no, nothing off.
We've
your
noticed
backs
that
if you
like the
guys need to.
reviews make such a big difference for us. Like huge difference.
Honestly, guys, we would not be asking you to do this if it wasn't like if it actually didn't mean anything to us, because like we don't care. We love to read your comments. Don't get me wrong, but like we wouldn't care if someone just reviewed us for the sake of reviewing us. We know that a bunch of you have already done that, which is amazing, but like we're doing it mostly just so we can kind of like bring ourselves a little bit higher, keep ourselves a little bit more relevant.
And if you review on 2 of our podcasts on Riverdale and AHS, we'll count you as 2 ballots. So just keep that in mind. You got 2 ballots.
Okay. Listen to NB. She knows the rules. At this time, I'd like to take the time to thank our patrons of the episode, our Rewinder squad. We got White, and then our Lit Rewinders. We got Tina Ann, Sarge, Serena, Soleil, and Kate. And finally, our Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace. Thanks, guys.
If you would like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind. If you join, you'll get access to all things Recap Rewind, exclusive content, and updates.
And also make sure you guys are checking us out on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. You can also find us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and as we mentioned, iTunes. Like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks for listening.
Bye.